Pregame.com.
NFL division weekend. We got the Ravens at the Broncos. This is a free pick for me. I'm looking at the total here. I tell you, this Denver team, though, I can't lay 9.5 myself in the playoffs. But I think Denver's the favorite to win the Super Bowl, and I certainly don't want a big part of the Ravens here. So maybe let's start there in the discussion. Do either of you guys have any opinion that you'd be willing to lay 110 on the side here?
I like the Broncos a lot in this spot. I think you're getting a good deal. Anything under double digits. I don't think you're being asked to pay too much. I agree with you. In the AFC, Denver's probably the favorite to represent them in the Super Bowl.
Probably the favorite.
Well, I mean
they're objectively the favorite.
Based on price,
yeah.
But different power ratings. I see some guys have Denver on top. There's some that have New England still on top.
But you'd have to have New England being 3 points better than Denver for Denver not to be the favorite. Right? They're both 9.5, 10-point favorites this week.
Right.
So assuming they have an equal chance of not getting upset, now for Patriots to be favored at Denver, they got to be 3 points, 4 points better. That's what I'm saying.
That's not going to happen.
I think it's going to be 3 minus 120, I think, maybe.
Yeah, but I don't think the Patriots are going to get past Houston, but that's another video. The reason I really like Denver in this spot, besides the fact Baltimore played last week, and it wasn't the easiest of games. They got the cover at the end. I don't think they're going to be able to do what they did last week to Denver. You're not going to run on them. That's not going to happen. They have one of the best yards per attempt in all of NFL. And if Rice and Pierce can't go off and you leave it in Flacco's hands to beat this team on the road, I just don't see it happening. I think it gets ugly. I don't think 10 points is nearly enough. I really don't.
I think it's tough. I think I did not bet this game. I'm not sure which way I'm going to wind up going on this one, but I've been doing some efficiency numbers. I've been looking at a couple of different things. And I think pass efficiency, both offensively and defensively, when you compare the two, and I've been going back from Thanksgiving, because I think if you go back before that, it loses its importance. Denver's numbers are off the charts great, both offensively and defensively.
Now, quarterback rating.
Yeah, but to address RJ's total, the one thing that Flacco can do well is throw the deep pass. Now, is he going to get time to do that? Is he going to contribute? What does he need to contribute? About 20 points to that game?
So to me, the key here is it's a road game. And what I was for Baltimore, what I was stressing last week is Baltimore at home and the Colts. That was one of the biggest splits. Colts really poor relatively on the road. Baltimore, and here's the number backing it up. In the regular season, Baltimore had at home the second best offense in the NFL on a yards per play basis. On the road, they have the third worst. So second best, third worst. This is an average team on the road. Now, I'm not crazy about Denver at home. You know, a lot of people remember the Mile High advantage and the game Elway, you know, and all that. But this team has been like under 40% for many years at home. So I'm not excited about that. But I just look at this ball. I think that this is going to be a matter of taking care of business for Peyton Manning. This might shock you guys. He has the second best passer rating in his career this year. So if you trust passer rating, it's his second best season. I've never seen a quarterback being more no-nonsense. It's like Brady, when he gets psyched up, he gets higher, it seems like, and more focused. But Manning's more like, let's get the job done, and then let's move on. So that makes me less inclined to think they're going to look to run this thing. I think you give them a 7-point win, they're just going to walk away with a big old smile.
You're giving out the over, though, right?
No, under.
Oh,
under.
You're giving out the under. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. I thought you said the over. Okay.
I haven't said anything.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for ruining it.
Well,
I mean,
no problem.
The video analytics are going to plummet at this point.
Well, I'm sure they are. No, I kind of like what you're saying there, because I honestly thought you were giving out the over.
No, I think we've got a Baltimore team.
I think you're very much correct then, because I think Peyton Manning will take care of business. Now, I don't know if they cover the 9.5 or not. Not saying they won't.
They might be up 14 late, and then it's a last
backdoor cover.
You know,
I just don't think
maybe not.
That Baltimore has the
I just don't
ability
see
to do
that. First off, remember this too. You've got, usually if you have a dog this big, It's a team that's in an unusual spot. They're going into a hostile environment. Like Cincinnati, it almost felt like, as much as you wanted to say last week they were trending up and Houston was trending down, it felt like Cincinnati hasn't won a playoff game since 1991. So you were asking them to do something they hadn't done in none of these players had ever done. Baltimore, Flacco, this is his 10th playoff start. Last week he was at 9 clearly before the game. All other 7 teams had less than him, their starting quarterbacks combined, not each individual one. I don't think this team's rattled, so I don't see that blowout.
Yeah, I don't think they're rattled. I just don't think they have the talent.
Can you lay 9.5 in the playoffs without thinking this team's going to get rattled?
Yeah, right now I'm looking to tie him up into as many teasers as possible.
That's a different conversation.
But
you're not going to tease a 3.5, are you, from 9.5? Or are you going to do a 7-point?
No, I think the money's going to come in on Baltimore.
So you think this thing's
the line's going to
get to 8.5?
Yeah, I think the line's going to come down. I really think that the betting public's going to be on Baltimore. As much as they are in love with Denver, I think they're going to agree with you that there's no business for Denver to be giving this many points to Baltimore. I think Baltimore is a little overvalued. I think they've been overvalued the entire season. I really do.
All right, so my take, we got a team not motivated for an extreme performance, but rather they want to. And again, it's not like they're going to choose not to blow the team out. But think about it. Teams can play a more conservative game and make it where they have. Here's the irony. A certain team's game plan that's the favor could be a situation where they have a much better chance to win by 17 or more, but at the same time, a better chance of losing the game. Right? There can be, again, to talk the normal distribution, there can be a more spread out results. Now, if you're a running team, if you're a team with a quarterback doesn't throw interceptions, that's more of a controlled offense, you can have a less of a chance of winning by over 17, but a better chance of actually winning the game. Do you agree with that conceptually?
Yes, and here's what I would say about Peyton Manning individually, personally. How many times do you see him stand at the line of scrimmage and let that clock go down to 0 or down to 1 before he snaps a play? I mean, those are the kind of things that do help a game under.
No, I don't disagree with the under at all. I just don't see how Baltimore's going to stay within 2 touchdowns of this team. Yeah. I really don't.
Well, I think to look at your way, then that probably helps RJ's side.
That's what I'm saying. I don't see Baltimore doing much scoring. And they hold the ball for, 23, 24, 25 minutes a game. You saw last week. They beat the Colts, and their defense is on the field 36, 37 minutes. Mm-hmm. You're going to leave Peyton Manning on the field 37 minutes, and he's not going to score a couple touchdowns on you?
2 last points. One that's very pro-Denver. If you look at turnover ratio, which a lot of people get this wrong, they see a team with a positive turnover ratio and say that's a sign of how good they are. It's actually, in my opinion, the opposite, and I think most handicappers' opinion, which is turnovers in many ways even out in the long run. Now, a great quarterback that doesn't throw interceptions, that doesn't even out. But I think otherwise, fumbles on both sides, both gaining fumbles or giving up fumbles, is very, very random. And I think takeaways are random. You hear about these ball-hawking defenses, but very rarely do they the next year stay a ball-hawking defense. I think the only thing that the team can control is interceptions themselves. The other 3 facets of turnovers are random for the most part, in my opinion. Thus, when you have New England number 1 in turnovers, they do have in differential. They do have Brady that has influenced that, rightfully so. Houston number 2, Baltimore number 3. Denver is the only team of the 8 remaining with a negative turnover differential, which tells me this team might still be underrated.
Yeah.
That they're the only one in the playoffs that actually gave the ball away more than they've taken.
Progression's coming.
I think that this Denver team is the best in the NFL right now. Here's the one thing, though, that might slow you down from betting the futures. 2003 was the last time a team with the best record in the NFL, either the very best or tied for the best, won the Super Bowl. So it's been a lot of upsets along the way. I'm not sure what that means for Denver, but we've talked this through.
Houston's going to beat them anyway.
Well, we'll get to that. We've talked this through. I'm going to make it official. All right, we got Peyton Manning. He's going to take care of business, but with a conservative game plan. You've got Baltimore, no good on the road offensively. They're going to have trouble scoring. I'm going under the big number. It's my free pick of the week. You impressed, Chris?
I like the under.
Free pick. I mean, it's worth every penny of it.
Was he? Did he write? I saw you scribbling today at the office. Were you writing that joke?
Oh, no, I didn't have to. I know exactly what it is.
All right, guys, we got one more video left. VR's been intimating towards it. We're talking
New England
Texans, Patriots, and it sounds like he has an extreme opinion. Remember, you can get all of our videos, pregame.tv. Talk to you then.